This is Rob Pirie with the Coffee Runs Deep podcast, where we interview coffee farmers, coffee roasters, and we share their stories. Truly hope you enjoy the experience. What's going on, everybody? Rob Pirie here, and today we got an exciting little episode with Mr. Pablo Vasquez. He's a coffee processor from Guatemala. He focuses on developing new anaerobic type processes, and he works closely with small micro lot farmers and processing mills to create these specific types of coffees that he does. We discuss his journey, his goals, and then we go into the current issues that are facing the coffee industry and the coffee farmers in Guatemala. So without no further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and truly hope you enjoy. What's going on, Pablo Vasquez? How you doing?
Hey man, just to let you know, man, I work here in Guatemala, and I'm a microlot specialist. I do like cool things with microlots, like anaerobics, honey process, naturals, and we sell like in Ukraine, United States, a little bit in Japan, and all like really small markets for us. I went to law school here in Guatemala. It doesn't have anything to do with coffee, dude. Right now, I'm in charge of two projects. The first one is El Paolo Real. That is my brand. It's my local brand with my business partner called Mario Sepe. What we do with El Paolo Real is we try to get better prices for a small producer and medium producer. So how do we work? If we're working for commercial SHBs that are strictly high SHBs of Guatemala, what we do is like, okay, dude, we're gonna sell this container. Okay, how much do you want to earn? Like, oh, we want to earn $2.15.
And that's talking to the farmer?
Yeah, directly to the farmer, dude. We try to be really transparent, like really direct and really honest with all the negotiations we do. So we're like, okay, your coffee, well, we can pay for your coffee $2.05, $2.10, because we have to like sell it to $2.30, something like that, dude. So at the end of the day, what we do is like, okay, we're getting in charge of every exportation expenses. You're getting your $2.05 or your $2.10. So here's the receipt of the client. This is the invoice for the client. We're selling to this price. Like, you're getting a copy of it, because that's the other thing. We as El Paolo Real, we're trying like to lead by example, dude. That's the thing. Here in Guatemala, I think that we haven't empowered the producer as much as we should. And like, at the end of the day, I really believe that if we don't empower like producers, we're gonna begin drinking crappy coffee, dude. That's the thing, that the small producers will disappear. That's the thing. That's how we operate with medium producers. But with the small producers, we have been working with from 6 to 8 small producers to produce specialty microlots. But like what we are like aspiring to be is like a really boutique coffee with that small producers. When I talk about boutique coffees, we're like processes, varieties, something that like you that are a roaster, you're excited if you hear Pacamara anaerobic of 120 hours. Dude, for a roaster, you said, oh, that sounds so awesome. And for me, that I'm like doing all the process, for me it's awesome, dude. I really enjoy doing processes.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do with that is like to generate like a boutique coffee from these 8 producers and sell it to better prices. But like the game, our strategy more than a game is like, okay, you don't have to get in charge of the processing or the exportation or anything. You give us the cherry at this mill, you're getting your cash right now. Or even if you want to, we can like like give it your cash like 2 or 3 months before.
Oh, it's
Like,
like a financing type deal with it?
yeah,
Okay.
it's a financing technique. So
Real quick then,
like,
so do you work at the mill? Or is
no,
it like, so you don't work for the mill then, or for the coffee farmer? You're kind of that,
no,
you're,
I'm the kind of middleman that is processing coffee. So,
gotcha.
but the cool thing with us is that we have like strategic alliances with different mills. So we work with 4 mills already. One that is at Fraijanes, one that is at Jutiapa, one that is in Palencia, another that is in Antigua, Guatemala. So, dude, at the end of the day, like the batches of a specialty coffee we are like doing like 1 container of microlots. Is not that much, but it's not a small quantity of microlots, to be
And real
honest.
quick, like what is considered a microlot? Because I know there's a lot of people out here that hear that term, but I don't think they actually know, or they may not know exactly what that means. Like what is a microlot considered to you down there?
For me, microlot, it depends on the quality and on the quantity, because what I do are small batches of each coffee. So, for example, this year I'm planning to do 10 bags of a natural pacamara, and this microlot is consistent in 10 bags of 69 kilos. That's like the amount of a microlot for me.
Got
Like
you.
I have a bunch of different, like that's the thing. I consider that microlots go from 10 bags to 40 bags or even 50, but not more than that. Because
Yeah,
if
so
not,
even a
it's,
small roaster could go and literally buy, 10 bags or so and completely
yeah,
buy up the whole lot then.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the idea. What we do is like we combine like the commercial with the logistic, not mixing the coffee, but what we mix is the logistic of the commercial coffee with the microlots. So when you are like exporting a container of, you're exporting 275 bags. So we do like 250 bags of Guatemala SHB, strictly hard bean, and the other amount, like 25 or even 30 bags, are from 1 or 2 microlots. That's one of our strategies that has been working really well for us. But that's the thing. Right now, what we are offering for our clients is the full traceability of each microlot. And that's the other thing. I work with a platform called M Cultivo. They are new here in Guatemala. I'm the one like distributing it, and it's a platform for traceability, for market sales, for a lot of things, dude. But I'm like the vivid example that I use it for the traceability of the microlots, and it's a great like tool for producers to use. At the end of the day, like for a producer, if you technify and you like get to understand your process, get to understand how you're working instead of writing it in paper, because dude, there are a lot of people that haven't been technified and they're still writing on paper, on a book, or using crappy Excel sheets. So at the end of the day, what we're working with these guys from M Cultivo is a platform for the producer to technify and empower him to get all his information and have a point of comparison each harvest season. And that's it, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your clients are the farmers then, correct? That's who.
Yeah, for the platform, my
Yeah.
clients are the farmers. For the green coffee, my clients are roasters like you, man.
Gotcha. So say I want to buy some coffee from you at one of these micro lots.
Yeah.
Where would I go to do that? Are y'all shipping it to some importer up here, or are y'all importing it y'all selves, or how does that work?
We have been working with importers, dude. At the end of the day, like importers are like big dudes in our industry. They are like really capable dudes. So we have been working with some of them. This harvest season, I was at San Victor. That was a dry mill, a wet mill, dry mill, an exporter here in Guatemala. And we used to work with Anthem Imports. I don't know if you have heard of them.
I haven't heard of Anthem.
Yeah, they are in Kansas City, if I'm not wrong.
I'm gonna have to look them up.
Yeah, they are cool guys. The green coffee buyer, that dude is crazy. It's amazing. That dude is amazing.
And you said they're in Kansas City?
Yeah, Kansas City.
So if I went to Anthem, then I would be able to kind of look through some of these micro lots and, obviously buy some then?
We did a lot of micro lots from San Victor to Anthem, like
Okay.
a lot of them. But this year we got like El Paolo Real like got independent, and like we're like doing all our segments like all by ourselves now.
Gotcha.
So we have to like right now we're having that issue because we haven't determined like we don't have that much clients up there with you. So we haven't determined with whom we're going to work, or that's the thing. That's the other thing. Like there are a lot of great coffees, dude, at the end of the day. So we sold a lot of them to Europe, and they were like amazed with it. But like we have that issue by this moment right now. So I'll have to knock some door.
Say again?
I will have to knock some doors, dude.
Oh yeah. So do y'all sell mostly to Europe then? As far as the coffee coming?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
We sell like a good amount of micro lots to Europe, and we sell a good amount of micro lots, of washed micro lots to Japan.
Okay. So
yeah,
going back a little bit then, what got you into, because are you a practicing lawyer now, or have you let your...
I did. I'm not, dude.
Gotcha.
I'm not.
So what made you switch from being a lawyer to going into coffee? Have you always been in the coffee like...
No, well, to be honest, man, like it was pure luck, dude. At the end of the day, I was working with this like really great lawyer here in Guatemala. I was his assistant, but what we did, like we were like here in Guatemala, being a lawyer is kind of tricky and difficult. They are like really amazing people because they are smart as hell. Yeah. And they know how to work with law and everything. But there was a lot of things in that environment that didn't match with my work ethic, to be honest.
Gotcha.
So I was like, one day I was like, no, this is not the path I want to take. So I was like, no, it's not for me. And I left. I was also a rugby player, dude, by that time. So I left law and I was like, okay, what I do, blah, blah, blah. And that was by 2015. I had a trip to Ecuador with the national team, and I went to the trip, came back from Ecuador, and I was like, dude, I don't know what to do. And by that time, I had a friend that had a coffee shop here in the city, and he was like, dude, do you want to learn about coffee? And I was like, yeah, why not? And here I am, like 5-6 years later. It has been like an amazing trip, dude.
You're all up in it now.
Well, dude, I have been involved in coffee shop, in roasting, in exporting, in importing, like in a lot of things. And I'm pretty grateful with the path I take, because dude, coffee is amazing. Like being involved in every part of the chain of coffee has been like really amazing, because I began as a barista. I was a barista here at one coffee shop in Zone 4 of the city, and I really didn't know what to do. I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I began in coffee because it was pure luck.
Yeah. And
after that, I began to take courses as CAC courses. I make the barista guild, the roaster guild. I did some like good stuff of that. And after I did that, I began to work with Sube. That is a really great dry mill here in Guatemala. And dude, there was this guy, the general manager of them, that has been working with coffee like for the past 50 years. And he works as a copper, and he operates all the dry mill logistics, exporting, and everything. Dude, he's a mastermind. So I began working with him like for a couple of harvest, and dude, he was great. Like he was brilliant.
That's one of those things, like when you start surrounding yourself with those like knowledgeable people, it just escalates your learning curve so much, so
Yeah,
yeah,
and
dude.
dude, this guy, like we used to cop like 100 samples per day, and it was amazing. This dude, like, this big old dude, with a mustache, with like, how do you say it? Like the white hair? How do you say it? I don't remember.
Just like the silver hair, white hair.
Yeah, silver hair,
Yeah.
like a little bit of silver hair, and like copying all day long. And after he copped, he was like making reports, watching everything was all right. Like, dude, this dude was a mastermind. So I was like, like the first days I was like pretty shocked, dude, because it was too much caffeine for me. I wasn't used to that, because when you go from like a coffee shop, a work in a coffee shop, to work at a dry mill, at the lab of a dry mill, like it's opposite worlds.
Yeah.
You don't see people, you're cupping coffee all day long, you're roasting coffee all day long. And dude, that was like
what was y'all roasting on
a Provat.
Oh, okay,
On
cool.
a 4-cylinder sample Provat.
Yeah.
Like, dude, they were that things are amazing.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of pictures. I've never really seen any in person though. They look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
and
talking about the coffee shops, then what? So is coffee kind of popular down there for like drinking and consumption, or is it something that's getting more popular? Like, do y'all drink y'all's own coffee basically?
well, to be honest, like it had in this couple of 4 or 5 years, it has been like getting more and more popular. Right now we have like, I could say like in the city, like at least 10 or 12 specialty coffee shops. We have like big
What city are
chains
you in
of-
again, real quick?
I'm in Guatemala City.
Okay,
I'm in
so
the
you're in the capital then.
Yeah, I'm in
Gotcha,
the
okay.
capital. We have like really cool specialty coffee, like El Injerto, Rojo Cerezo, Teco Coffee House. Dudes that are like pioneers on a specialty coffee here in Guatemala. We have like great coffee. El Injerto has been the pioneer ever since in coffee shops here in Guatemala. They have like great coffee shops. But then you have like Rojo Cerezo, that was the coffee shop I learned with. That dude has really great coffees, and they know how to roast. So they have a pretty unique characteristics. And then you have Teco. Teco Coffee House is owned by Teco. It's a small dude, big, like a little bit of lens, like glasses, and like he loves coffee more than he loves life. Dude, that I enjoy that type of people, to be honest. Pretty passionate about what he's doing. He has his coffee shop, and on the back he has the lab. So right now, they are improving a lot of things in a specialty coffee here in Guatemala. So I think that we're like pretty advanced right by now, but we don't have the culture of drinking like great coffee. That's the thing. We have to educate people to drink like good coffee, because they are not used to drink like something special or they are used to like, okay, caffeine, sugar, whoop, goes in, go to work, that's it. But there are a lot of people that are like trying to learn more and more about coffee. So I think
have you ever been to the States up here?
Yeah, I have been a couple of times.
Okay. Have you been to any of the coffee? Is our coffee scene a lot different, I guess, like our coffee shops, or is it kind of the same? Like, do y'all have espresso machines and like everything like that, or is it kind of more like a different style of coffee down there?
It's a mix, dude. It's a mix, because everyone has their own like style.
Yeah.
I have been in the States a couple of times, and I went to New York. The coffee shops in New York are like amazing, dude. You have like this guy called Gregory's, and dude, their coffee shops are amazing. Here in Guatemala, you go to El Injerto, and dude, they have a Dietrich roasting, and they have like all the prices, and they have all their like a big shelf with all their varieties. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have expected that. So that's pretty cool to see that that's kind of growing and doing down there. So heck yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing, dude. Doing a specialty coffee here in Guatemala, it's a challenge because you have to like do the work of educating people, because not every people knows the process of coffee, why it costs so much, because it's not the same. Like you as a roaster, you understand why you're paying $2 or you're paying $3 per pound. But here people they haven't had the culture or the option to get through coffee and understand like, we're charging this because it applies, we cut this type of cherry, we process it this way, we're preparing it this way, and we're like roasting it this way, and we're preparing it like to be a great cappuccino or whatever.
Yeah.
Like people, there are a lot of people that still think coffee is coffee.
Yeah.
So for a specialty coffee, it's kind of difficult. But like if you're serving Americanos, black coffee, it's really easy. It's easier than to sell a specialty.
Gotcha. So as far as the farmers and stuff down there, then what's the lifestyle look like for them? Is it pretty good lifestyle? I mean, can they make enough money off coffee to kind of live and like, put their kids in school or anything like that? Or what does that lifestyle look like?
Well, that's the thing, man. Doing coffee is pretty rough. That's the truth. We're in a rough industry, in a tough one, because not all the producers or not all the small producers have the same opportunities, and that depends a lot of where are they ubicated. Like I know like a group of like small producers that join and do a co-op, and they work as a co-op like in Frejanes, and they do pretty well like economically they do pretty well.
Yeah.
But then we have like a lot of coyotes that are the middlemen that buy cherry like from small producers, and you never know from where it's coming the cherry, and they are like paying like crap. Like that's the truth, dude. Like I won't like there are a lot of coyotes here down in Guatemala. Like what they do is like they don't like the small producers that don't have access to a near wet mill, and this guy like has his truck and passes by, and he's like, I'll pay you 150 quetzales per bag, and that's it, while the market is like at 200 or something like that. And the small producers say yes because they don't have access like to a better opportunity, and that's because they don't have like access to a great route or transportation or and that's the thing. A lot of people, how do I say it, a lot of people take advantage of that. Like
so the coyotes or whatever are taking advantage of the farmers and stuff. Is there any type of infrastructure kind of planning to be put in as far as like better roads and stuff like that to kind of help get the farmers' coffee to the mills and stuff like that? Or is that kind of more government? I know that's probably more government related. And I guess we can kind of go into that too. Like what's the government? Is the government helping in any way to kind of help the smaller farmers get better prices and stuff, or not really?
No, not really. No, man. Right now, to be honest, I don't know what's the plan of Anacafe. Anacafe is the National Institute of Coffee here in Guatemala, and I don't know what they are planning to do, because that's the other thing. They have identified like a lot of small producers that sell to coyotes. That's the thing. like if you're like an entity of the state, like a governmental, like at the end of the day, if you want to get them better prices, you have to buy them and sell it. That's kind of complicated in some point, because you can't buy all the coffee from all the small producers of Guatemala. You
Yeah.
will need a lot of cash at the end of the day. So I really don't know what's the plan that they are doing to try to move from coyotes and all these middlemen that are like taking advantage. So that's the thing. There are a lot of enterprises that instead of being coyotes, they are trying to get better opportunities. And I'm not trying to talk about the Paolo Real. Like, dude, that's not the point. There are a lot of like exporters and wet meal processors, and a lot of people of middlemen that instead of like taking advantage of the small producers, they're working along them. So what a lot of them are getting them finances, they're getting them better prices, or they are like consolidating a lot of lots. So at the end of the day, they are paying like a better price for their coffee. So I can say that that's kind of the future that we're trying to make it work, because that's the thing. For the client, it's important to know the traceability of the coffee, because you as a roaster, or this importer or this big client, they want to know where the coffee comes from, really. So I think it's not just about me or small producers or medium producers, but like we have been like making groups of people like that we can work along together and like trying to get better prices. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not just about oh, I want to make fame, I want to make money. It's not just about it. It's like it's empowering the producer. It's giving them better prices. It's it's been fair, dude. That's it. Like I know a lot of people that they talk about fair trade, and they talk about how they are paying good prices and this and that, and at the end of the day, they are not doing it.
That's actually one of my questions. So we can kind of dive into that. What, as far as like different types of programs and certifications and stuff like that, what do you see any of the farmers using them down there? And are any of them kind of worth entering in, like the Fair Trade, Rainforest Alliance, and this, that, and the other?
Uh, I have seen a lot of farmers doing it because they establish like a better form of working. Like I think certifications are good at some point, but at some point, like they are like pretty expensive, dude. At the end of the day, like if you're a farmer and you can pay a certification, okay, do it, go do it. But if you can't pay it, you should get a better client, and
Yeah.
that's it. Because at the end of the day, it all depends on how you work your farm, how you work your wet mill, or how you work your dry mill. I think certifications are like a great opportunity for farmers, for dry mills, for wet mills, and for a lot of people to grow, because it established like parameters to work with. But if you can't pay it, don't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's not okay. You will get a better price. That's totally what we're all aspiring to do. But you don't get in debt just because you want a certification, dude. That's not a like
Yeah.
intelligent move for
I
me.
don't, so I don't know if you know. So say you get the Fair Trade certificate and your farm is only, I'll say in hectares, say 5 hectares, versus somebody that has a 200 hectare farm. Um, are you still paying the same price, or is it based off like how big your farm is? Because it seems like it wouldn't be too fair if there was a set price and the person with 5 hectares had to pay the same amount as the person with 200. Because I don't know.
I, to be honest, I really don't know.
Okay.
Last time I have been in, the last time I I was at a certification was long ago. The
Yeah.
last certification we did was one of a chain of small producers of Freihanes, that it was for Starbucks that they did they did this certification like to establish the traceability, how much you were paying, the contract, how do you register the coffee, how do you work the coffee with. It was pretty interesting because it
Y'all
goes
worked with
along with.
Starbucks down there?
Yeah, I used to work with this enterprise that was working with the
Okay.
Starbucks. This wet mill.
Yeah.
They have cafe practices. They have to renew it like every 2 or 3 years. I remember I was in one of that certifications. Cafe practices is a really good parameter because it has really good parameters where you can work with at a wet mill.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure that if you are really organized, a certification like cafe practices is like really good. I don't know if it has a fee. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But for the small producers, when they are in a chain of a Starbucks, they do a certification every year, and it's pretty interesting because like they look for all the traceability of the product. That is something interesting for me in a specialty coffee, and I perceive Starbucks is like a really, really big entity, and they know what they are doing.
Yeah.
And looking for the traceability of their coffee is like really, really cool. Like establishing.
Yeah,
What?
I've always heard kind of I don't know, you always hear like the negatives of Starbucks and stuff like that and kind of what they do in the coffee countries and stuff. But as far as like ever talking to anybody that's really dealt with them, I've never really talked to anybody that's kind of dealt with them. So I didn't know how they were. I didn't know if they did underbid really bad but yeah, it's kind of cool that they do care to at least see exactly where their coffee's coming from and get that type of traceability. So
Yeah, and it's really interesting how they work, dude. Because at this certification of this small producer chain, what they do is they bring someone from outside the coffee industry of the country. So it's someone that it's impartial, that they see you and they see, oh, dude, you're doing this wrong, and this wrong. I don't know you, but you're doing this, and this wrong.
yeah.
And that's it. So it's not even someone from your own country that is evaluating you. The guy that evaluated us was from Costa Rica. I think it was from Costa Rica. And he was like, dude, you're doing this great. You're doing this great, but you have to like better your fertilization system, because if you're not doing this, then you can have like low yields or whatever. And he was like pretty objective at the moment of the evaluation.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, because that's the other thing. They are here in Guatemala, they are trying to how do I say it, eliminate child work.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and they have like a big problem a couple of years ago with child work, because at some point, like, law allows people like children to work, but entities from outside of the country don't want to work with enterprises from here that are using child labor. So
in your opinion, I want to kind of, because I know there's always that when you grow up on a farm, and I mean, your kids are working the farm. Like we worked with dad on all kind of things. So like, what is that opinion? Is it like when they're saying child labor, I mean, is it companies exploiting kids and like getting them in at a young age without like parents' permission and stuff like that? Or is it the actual parents on a coffee farm making their kids work? Like, what's the kind of, do you know what the difference would be there or no?
it's kind of complicated, dude, because like I also grew up at a farm. Like I saw my dad work. I used to work with him,
Yeah.
or even with some family, but it's different. The point where it's different is because there are children that don't have access to like education,
Right.
like education, health care, and a lot of like basic necessities. So when you see a child that doesn't have like access to that, and that it's working so he can like subsist and give their family opportunity to like keep on, like get food, get health, and all that is child labor for me.
Dang.
uh
So that's happening like outside employers basically hiring younger kids to go and, do XYZ job.
Yeah.
Dang, okay. So that happens a pretty good bit down there then, or?
Yeah, it happens a lot, dude. And that's the thing. The other thing is that a lot of the parents of these kids put them to work because they like, if they don't work, they don't eat. That's the reality, dude. And it's a pretty sad reality because there are a lot of people that take advantage of it. So what we have been doing, like for us and the enterprises I have been working for, they don't tolerate like child labor. Like that's one of the main points, and we try not to work with child labor because at some point, like if you're like 14 or 15, you can, like, if you have like a signed permit from your parents, you can work. But dude, picking cherry and like working in coffee is like really rough. I like picking cherry like uphill from peak to peak, from mountain to mountain, with a load of cherry on your back. It's tough.
Yeah,
like,
I can
just
imagine.
So at the end of the day, like if I have kids, I wouldn't want that life for them.
No.
Like we try. I have like the luck that I have been working with enterprises that don't tolerate that, because they try to pay better to the parents so they don't put their kids to work. So that's something I'm like pretty grateful. I haven't seen too much here, but it's a reality that happens a lot of in Guatemala.
So I was thinking, really, I mean, so how can you combat it would be just really raise the prices which you would pay the parents, so they're not dependent on sending, their kids out to make ends meet. That's a pretty tough situation. Because I mean, if you don't, and then you have people saying, "Hey, we're not going to work with you," I mean, you're kind of in that predicament where they have to go find it somewhere else. So you keep kind of chasing the rabbit. So yeah, it's got to be a hard situation to kind of fix head on. I mean, yeah, that's got to be pretty tough then.
It's kind of tough, man, because you're between the wall and the sword. That's the thing, because I haven't been in that situation, but I'm sure that is something that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think this is my humble opinion. If we get better prices, we can pay better the coffee producers. If we get them better prices, we get them better opportunities. I know money is not everything in this life, but it makes it like really like better if you're at some point of the ladder. Like if you're really poor and you get like access to health, to food, a roof, and all that basic necessities, you're like changing people's life.
Yeah. No, there's actually like this thing in, kind of like in finance or economics, where once you make so much money on a scale, your utility or happiness kind of peaks at a certain amount. And like at that certain amount, like you really don't get much happier after that certain amount of money. And it's really not that much money. Like you're saying, it's really just enough to cover, you're sure to have food on the table, you have healthcare, your education's there and stuff like that. And after that, it's really, I mean, you kind of hit that point where it's the utility doesn't increase as much. The happiness doesn't increase as much after that. So it's like, how much do you have to make, or how much do the producers have to make to hit that level of kind of where they feel that they're meeting their, a good utility to kind of live with,
It's kind of complicated, dude, because not all the regions are the same.
Yeah.
Not all the people have the same necessities, and not all the people have the same amount of children. And that's something complicated to teach here in Guatemala, because this is a rough question, dude. But I'll try to make it like really direct. I think we have too much like deficiencies in our system, that if we get like better, but just talking about money right now, if we get a little bit more money, get better situation for our producers. The thing with our producers is that they don't have access to the basic. And when I talk about the basic, they don't have access, like, this is a rough like theme, but they don't have access to sexual education. So some people have 8, 10 kids, 15 kids, and they can't afford to have 15 kids.
Yeah.
So then you have like this big family where everyone works because you have to maintain the family. So I think it's not just about the money, it's about education, it's about better opportunities, it's about like trying to reestablish our system, dude.
Yeah.
uh
And that's
as
one
a
of those
country,
things, like, it is not going to happen overnight. It's one of those things that just, year after years after years after years, if everybody keeps working and pushing forward, kind of like what you're doing, and like trying to make sure everybody gets paid a little bit more, eventually later down the road, it's all going to kind of be worth it. But it's so hard. And, when you're in these situations and you see all that, and it's like how to stay focused, stay motivated to keep improving it, So,
well, that's now that you're talking about it, for me, yeah, coffee is tough, dude. It's really, really tough. It's an industry, like, it's a savage industry. But for me, as an owner of a company, I think that there are like three really important points in my life, and for my industry, like, for me and Paolo Real, I have a really, really big purpose for it, and it's to generate opportunity. I love coffee. I'm really passionate about it, but the purpose is not about me. It's not about making me rich. It's not about making my business partner rich. It's about making something sustainable. And when I talk about make something sustainable, I'm talking about getting better prices for the people who I work with. Because if I get better prices, if I get a better name, if I make the company grow, I can pay them better. And if I pay them better, I make their situation better. And if they are happy, they can produce better coffees, and we can keep like continuity with the project. That's something really important for me. Like, it's not about the money.
yeah.
It's about working with the producers, making their work count, making great microlots, making great coffee, get involved with great clients, and keep continuity with those great clients. And that involves the two second points: that how do you manage to do that? And one, it's been discipline, because we are in an industry where you need to be consistent. You have to be disciplined. That's the thing. You have to make things consistently, so you do them good, so you can go from good to great. That's it. You have to be consistent in this industry. And the third is to be grateful. I have a great opportunity. I'm really grateful with the opportunity I had, like working from barista to an exporter, to the exporter, to farm and dry mill and wet mill. So I'm pretty grateful with that. I have the knowledge to like work with the small producers, medium producers, co-ops. So I'm pretty grateful with what I have in my life right now. And I have to pass it down to the people I work with.
Yeah.
I think it's not just about me. It's about them. It's about the coffee producers. It's about empowering them. It's about getting to tell Guatemala coffee history. Dude, I know it sounds really cliche, but I'm a farm boy from Jutiapa that I'm really passionate about what I do.
Oh yeah.
So that's the thing. I think that are the main like points and views of my enterprise. I think if we can do that right, we're gonna be fine. But we have to play it smart.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And dude, I can tell you're like super passionate about it. That's super cool to see, people just care more about the process and what you're doing, the goal, than just about making money. And I think that is one thing up here in the States, depending on where you're at in the States, because a lot of times we think of the United States and it's kind of clumped into either like New York or California thinking, but there's a lot of men-led, country type outside areas that are kind of still the same mindset where it's not all about money, it's about family and about giving back to the community and stuff like that. But kind of moving into your business then and what you do. So I know you focus a lot on the processing methods and stuff, and I just kind of wanted to cover that. What is like your favorite type processing method to kind of deal with? I know you deal with some of the anaerobic and stuff like that. What like how does that look?
Wow, dude, I can send you some videos. Like my favorite, I love to do natural process. I'm really passionate. Like I don't enjoy as much the honeys or the wash as I enjoy naturals. They are like really funky, but anaerobics, they're way other level, dude. What I'm trying to do this year is that all the like do the SHB, the commercials, but like then have all the segments of microlots, but done all in naturals and aerobics, trying to get like really great flavors, modulate like great sweetness. And that's the thing. Guatemala has great quality coffees. So you can get like really exotic notes. Last year, we got to manage to do an anaerobic process that tastes like mango, like really, really ripped mango. It was amazing.
Real quick, what is the anaerobic? Like, what is that? What are y'all doing? Is it a fermentation type deal or?
It's a fermentation
Okay.
type. What we do with anaerobics is like you have the cherry, like the red fruit, like really, really ripped, and we put it in barrels. We put them like with a bubble, like pressure.
Yeah.
So you seal it, and all the carbon dioxide that goes like that begins to like inflate the barrel, it's like released by this bubble.
Gotcha.
So at the end of the day, like it doesn't compromise the temperature or the pH of the barrel, so you don't over fermentate the process. It's really cool. Like you get like a lot of the honey of the cherry like goes dripping down and down, so you have to move constantly all the cherries, so all the cherry has like this consistent like like honey on it. It's really interesting. We do it like from 64 hours up to 120 hours. So it's a special fermentation that you have to regulate temperature and pH of the honey, because if you don't do that, you can like ferment, like screw all the coffee. That's the truth, man. So what we do with this process is like with the wine, like it's a fermentation process to get more exotic notes, and it depends on the variety. So this year we work a blend that it was from Bourbon, Catuai, Caturra, and Catisic, that it was pretty awesome. We also did an aerobic pacamara from 80 hours, and it was like pretty good. And we did a geisha with this same process, but we try to manipulate the times, because that's the other thing. If you get to manipulate the times and make it like more prolonged, you can get like great quality flavors. You can like develop these flavors that you're looking. So it's a try. You have to try a lot, and you have to screw a lot of coffee in this process.
Oh wow.
But I had the opportunity to do it several times, and if didn't, we got to cop a lot of them, and the ones that weren't like high quality coffees, we put it in another bag. Like we didn't compromise the whole lot because of a little batch.
Yeah.
So this year we're gonna do like 12 microlots. 2 or 3 are from Jalapa, 2 or 3 are from Jutiapa. A couple of them are from Valencia, a couple of them are from Fraijanes, and we're doing some with the small producers from Antigua. What we are doing is like we already have established all our processes, and we're working with this for wet mills specifically, because we as an enterprise, we don't have like, we still don't have like the
Infrastructure and stuff.
infrastructure
Yeah.
to make it. But like we have been working alongside with this wet mills for the couple of 2 or 3 years. So they were like, okay, you establish the process for anaerobics or for our microlots, and you can work with us. And I was like, okay,
So
let's do
you're
it.
basically just experimenting now in these stages, and so it seems like it's pretty new then, right? Is it kind of like a newer process?
Yeah.
And where do you see it going? I mean, because I tasted my first one here. It's been a couple weeks back, and I don't have any more. It's just like a sample, and it blew me away. I really enjoyed it. I definitely want to get more and kind of cup and go through the whole process and see what I can kind of pull out. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was super good.
Well, people here in Guatemala are pretty traditional.
Yeah.
So we're pretty like we're pretty known as for our wash coffee. We're pretty known about that. We have great wash coffee, but a lot of people here are experimenting with naturals and anaerobics. I'm one of those. The thing is that I had the opportunity like to get to screw some of them up. So at the end of the day, like I like to write down everything I do. I have a pretty extensive diary of all the process I have made in this couple of years. So I was like, okay, every process we did, we copped it. And if we copped them and it was good, okay, this process is worth trying it again with a bigger quantity and a better control and this and that. So at the end of the day, everything we're doing right now is just a replication of what we did 1 or 2 crop seasons ago.
Okay.
So the last 2 harvests, we were like the first time we were experimenting, dude, it was crazy because we screw up like a lot of coffee. I can say I screw up a lot of coffee because I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to put this cherry in the barrel for 2 or 3 days or 5 days, but I didn't use a bubble for the carbon dioxide, so it inflated the barrel and it fermented the coffee. So the coffee was fermented. Really simple things that when you're new,
Yeah.
you don't like take in consideration. But right now, I'm just replicating everything we did great and trying to make even better from the things we did good.
Yeah. Learned about. So
So
as far as price wise, then what does price look like on a same coffee? I guess like just a wet process coffee versus what you're going through this whole anaerobic process. What How do you determine how much you add on to the price after that? Is it the time you're doing? Is it the I guess the
well,
demand maybe or
it's complicated to establish the price in an anaerobic, dude. To be honest, the anaerobic process and the naturals and the honeys and all these experimental lots people are doing, you don't know how to charge them. That's the truth. Like I charge them on based on the results. Like I'm not charging like based on oh I put my heart on this. So no, I'm basing my prices on the results of the coffee, and that's the other thing. I'm not just basing my prices on the results of the coffee, but in how much I paid to the producer, because that's the other thing. When we're talking about microlots, uh, you have to have cash flow to pay immediately. So at the end of the day, you're financing like the producer, the small producer. So I take the risk of processing the coffee, on selling the coffee, and exporting the coffee. So I'm not just okay, I'm paying a better price. I'm like, I don't know how I will be paying like immediately, uh, for example, 280 quetzales per cherry like bag. So that's a really great price when your price has been 195 or 200. Is like 80. It's like $10 above what you're normally used to sell your commercial coffee. But what we're expecting from the people we work with is to not they don't like give us commercial coffee, they give us like great quality cherry. So we try to not just like pay them better, but okay, if we're working together, we're gonna supervise how you handle the cherry to us. So we're when you begin crop season or the harvest season, we go to your farm, we take the refractometer, that is the it's a little machine that you use to like to calculate how the amount of sugar per cherry.
Mm-hmm.
And if the cherry is between 20 and 25, you can cut it. If not, don't cut it, because it will not have the best quality in the cup. So we're not just involved in, oh, we're paying better, you're getting the traceability, but we're involved in getting like technify the people and like work along them,
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
that's the thing many people here in Guatemala don't do. Okay, you're like, okay, you're paying better for the cherry, okay, but how much time are you investing in the people? How much education, or how many times are you visiting them, or how many times a day are you calling them? Basic stuff, dude.
Yeah,
Like, it's
because the more
not.
time you put into them, it's just going to make your product better anyway. So, heck
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, so kind of wrapping it up then, what is your goal? I know you kind of gave me your what you want to do with the company and what you wanted to kind of represent, but what is your like, I guess, infrastructure goals? Do you one day do you plan to have like your own processing type plant area, or do you plan to go into importing with it, like importing your own, or do you plan to actually maybe go into like the farm one day and actually have your own farm to experiment? What's your future goals as far as that goes?
dude, you should like a great question, dude. Uh, I'm a farm boy. That's the truth.
Heck yeah.
My so my goal, my personal goal, is to someday have like a couple of places where I grow specialty coffee and I process it especially like for special clients. Like do a boutique coffee reserve. Uh, I'm a farm boy, dude. I enjoy going to the farms. I enjoy hard work. So for me, that will be like a really great retirement plan. That's my personal goal. But for my enterprise, I want people to watch El Paolo Real and say, dude, they are doing great boutiques coffee. They are working alongside with the small producers. They are creating and they are innovating, and they get great price. They are charging this and this. But they are getting high quality coffees in the market.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I want to go back to the farm someday.
That's cool, man. I would love to. I like it too. Like, but the thing is, it's such a lifestyle difference compared to if you've already built a lifestyle around a job or something like that. To actually go back to the farm and. But yeah, dude, that'd be super cool if you got a farm down there and started kind of experiment with your own coffees and doing that. What would that look like? I mean, is land expensive down there? Like, price wise, could you buy a farm pretty easy, or is it something I mean, obviously you had to go to a bank and get a loan and all that probably, but what does that look like? Can you get kind of financing fairly easy down there, or not really?
Well, the thing with getting a financing here is not that difficult, to be honest. But the thing with coffee is you have to have a like really good structure, a financial structure, because if you're buying land like for making coffee, you have to contemplate that the first 3 years,
Yeah, you're not
you're
making
not
anything.
you're
Yeah.
not making anything. You're just investing. So for me, the plan is try to like work alongside a lot of small producers by this moment, uh, make El Paolo Real bigger, and begin this process by in a term of 5-7 years. The thing with land here is like you can Guatemala is so rich in land. You have so many varieties of microclimates that is really great. And as I said, money is kind of an issue here, but you can make it work if you're like really, really disciplined and really, really structured, because coffee is not an easy job, dude.
Yeah.
So you have to like plan, like not just for the first year, but for the first 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. You definitely have to have a plan kind of going into it. And I don't know, there's always that build versus buy. You can either buy, vacant land and build a coffee farm, or you can go buy an existing coffee farm from somebody, I guess, kind of wanting to get out of it. But I don't know.
Dude, like, to be honest, I would prefer to buy something that is new, something without any coffee, because it's way, way easier to planify and way easier to make it work with something that doesn't have any coffee on it than something that already has a lot of coffee on it, because it's way expensive to like to structure something that is like upside down.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
so,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like, there are a lot of people that are selling farms here, but Guatemala is like a really, really, really rich country in lands. At the end of the day, like, it's really easy for coffee to grow here. And there are so many regions and there are so many microclimates, and the land is so fertile that like coffee grows like dude, it grows really quick here.
Yeah. Heck yeah, dude. So if somebody wants to buy your coffee then, and they want to buy one of these micro lots,
Okay.
where exactly could they go then right now?
Right now, we don't have any more coffee right now, dude.
Okay. So
But
whenever, I guess, what'd you say, April, May of next year?
no, I think by February.
February?
Yeah, we're working with some producers from Coban that are the earliest in harvest here in Guatemala.
Okay.
So we're doing some great micro lots with them. So I think that by like the beginning of February, we'll have coffee. So we have our website. The thing with our website is called Paolo Real Specialty Coffee.com.
Okay.
There we will have like our offer list and the prices, and if you want to request sample, you can request the sample over there and we will send it. The other thing is that a lot of how do I say it? A lot of roasters already work with some importer, so it's easier that if they request a sample, they talk to us and say, dude, I'm working with this importer, so we can work it out with the importer they are working with. It's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other thing is that we can do air fry. It's a little bit higher in price, but we can do it also. So we have done it for some clients in Japan that, for example, we had like 50 pounds of geisha this year, and they were like, okay, we're buying it, but you have to send it air fried. So we were like, okay, we can do it. It's not a problem.
Dang.
Yeah, dude. But those guys were like, I want this by this date. And I was like, dude, okay, let's do it.
Make it happen, huh? Heck yeah, dude. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up then. I don't know if there's anything else you kind of want to tell them. I'll link all your stuff below too. I'll link your website and all that below. And you actually have a really cool Instagram too, as far as a lot of the videos and stuff you have on there, and it's pretty cool. So,
well, we try to maintain it like really organic, like things that happen like all days, every day, all day. the cool thing about El Paolo Real is that we didn't expect to be working all this kind of stuff by this moment. But my business partner and me were like, dude, this is the perfect moment to blow people's minds with great microlots, like to innovate. Like the pandemic revealed a lot of things that were wrong and revealed a lot of things I wanted to do, and I haven't been doing it because I was like too comfortable on my circle. So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Like, yeah, dude. And that's the other thing. Like this year, we're just doing naturals. We are going to do honeys only if a client asks for honey, but we're just doing naturals. So when we go out to sell naturals, we're not just competing against Central America or Latin America, but we're competing against African coffees. And dude, African coffees are amazing. Like,
yeah, they are, dude. It's like, yeah, they have some great stuff. So,
but I have a couple of friends that are at Burundi and at Ethiopia and like at places like that, and I was like asking them, like, dude, what are you doing like to make your coffee unique? What are you doing to make your coffee unique in your own way? And dude, that's the thing. Like, all the people is doing their coffee on their own way, and all the coffee is unique.
Yeah. Like, that was the other thing too. Like the anaerobic, I think that I had was from Colombia, but because I'm so kind of new to it, it almost tasted like an African coffee, like an Ethiopian, Kenyan. It had that kind of very acidic type taste to it. So I don't know, I'm kind of curious to taste that more and kind of see what comes of that. But yeah, there's so many ways, I guess, if you keep experimenting and doing stuff to make yourself unique down there, that I'm anxious to kind of see what y'all do with it.
You'll see mine. I promise, dude. You're gonna try them. I promise.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, dude, like right now there are so many things happening all around the world, and for me there are like a lot of things going on here in Guatemala, that there are so many opportunities. Like this is the perfect moment, like to open to new markets, to open to new methods, and to make the good alliances with the people you want to work with.
Yeah.
Because most of the things is based on your relationships. Like coffee is a relationship industry where if you work alongside with the producer, if you work alongside with the exporter, if you work alongside the importer or the roaster, it's about relationships. It's about how you can contribute to the chain, and how and everything you give, you take back. Like at the end of the day, that's how it works. I think this industry is like really, really rich in people, in value, in money also, but that you can make so many things work out if you want to.
No, I definitely agree. I've always kind of felt like that too. Like the more I feel you give, a lot of times you get more in return from it, So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Heck yeah, dude. Like I said, I'll link your stuff below, and thank you, Pablo. I appreciate it, dude. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the recorder real quick. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode. I really connected with Pablo, and I honestly can't wait to share a coffee with him one day. He's one of them dudes like you talk to, even after the podcast, after we, stopped recording, we talked for a good bit longer, and he's just one of them dudes like I connected with, so really felt his story. There are many individuals who they'll talk and they'll post and stuff like that, but there are very few individuals who actually walk that walk. And I really feel Pablo is one of those guys down there really trying to make a difference for the people of Guatemala, for the farmers and stuff down there. And it's one of those things you got to respect, In today's world of social media and pictures and glam and this, that, and the other, it's like, to me, the heroes out there, the ones that are out there doing the work, are people like him. So keep dreaming, brother. Keep hustling. And I'm here if you need me on anything. If you enjoyed this episode, by all means, please like, comment, subscribe, and do all that, and share. Definitely helps this podcast kind of get out there and, get more eyes on it. I really want to grow this thing, make it better, get to a point where I can actually put more time into it. If y'all do enjoy these, please let me know in the comments. Please subscribe, do all that. And I'll see you next week. Talk to you next week. Kind of both. We'll do both. We'll talk, speak, do it all. So anyway, love y'all. And like always, if y'all have any questions, hit me up. And Pablo, we'll talk again soon, dude. Later, buddy.